So back in 3rd grade, when my biggest responsibilities in life were remembering my pencil case and not getting glue on my shirt, I saw how I ended up running what was basically a Pokemon-themed criminal empire. And the worst part is I didn't even plan any of it, it was all started by complete accident. See, at that time I wasn't even selling cards, I was a pure innocent Pokemon trader. Cards for cards, maybe cards for someone's lunch if I was feeling especially business-minded. But actual money, that was forbidden magic. And then one day, everything changed. A rich kid, you know, the kind of kid who brought a brand new snack every day and had a pencil case worth more than my bike, walks up to me holding a $10 bill. He points at my Lucario Memento GX Tuck Team card. That was like the glory of all cards, you know. If you had a Tuck Team, that would mean it has like more than 250 HP. And if something has more than 250 HP, you're a god, okay? And he looks at me straight in the eyes and goes, "I'll give you this for that." And just like that, my worldview shattered. I stared at the bill like it was the holy grail. Money? This guy offered me real money for a card. My tiny brain couldn't process it. You know what they say, money is the source of all evil. And it is. That was the moment everything went downhill. Because once you sell one card for real cash, your brain unlocks a new DLC. Capitalism Expansion Pack. Suddenly I realized something dangerous. Kids weren't just trading the cards, they were willing to pay for them. Now I needed more cards, and since official Pokemon packs were expensive, like ask your mom and she just knows before you even finish the sentence expensive, I couldn't exactly run to Target every day with my lunch money and come home with a fortune. So I started looking for an alternative. See, around that time my brother was ordering a lot of these cheap Legos from AliExpress that said like Lily instead of Lego, and that's when the idea was born. I sit behind the family PC, open AliExpress, close all the pop-up ads, types in Pokemon cards, and that's when I spotted them. These things were beautiful, shiny, glossy, suspiciously cheap. Exactly the type of product your mother warns you about. And most importantly, they were affordable enough that an 8-year-old with a lunchbox full of change could buy them. So as they are pricing cartel balls, I forced my brother to order me them. A lot of them. When the package arrived, I felt like opening a treasure chest full of bootleg cards so shiny you could blind someone with them. Were they real? No. Did the Pokemon sometimes have 8000 HP? Yes. Did any of that matter to an 8-year-old? No. And that was the birth of the great Pokemon cartel of 3rd grade. At first it was small. I'd sell one pack to a kid in my class, then another, then suddenly the whole school knew my name. But with great success, there also come great enemies. One of the brighter kids, let's call him Calculating Connor, figured out I was selling packs cheaper than the store. He came up to me with the exact combination of innocence and suspicion that only an 8-year-old can muster. "Where do you get them so cheap?" he asked. See, if I actually told him I got him from AliExpress, then why would he buy them from me for double the price? I can raise the existence of my monopole. After about 0.5 seconds of deep thought, I said, "I can't tell you where I get them. But I can give you 20 bucks for the price of 15 and you can resell them." And thus, my entire operation went multi-level. Connor recruited some of his friends, they recruited more friends. I became a 3rd grade carter overlord. My name was whispered in classrooms like I was the Heisenberg of Pokemon cards. By 3rd period, I had a network of resilience. By lunch, the entire 3rd and 4th grade knew my name. And just like that, I unintentionally built a 3rd grade Ponzi scheme, with me as the unchallenged cartel boss. I didn't have spreadsheets, I didn't have charts, I had instincts. And by instincts, I mean I had no idea what I was doing, but I looked very serious when I said, "Trust me, this is a limited time offer." It got out of hand fast. Kids who barely knew what a GX card was suddenly came running to me with their lunch money. I was like a financial prodigy, but also a morally bankrupt 8-year-old. I had created demand, I had created supply, I had created a market. And then, disaster struck. One day, a parent, let's call her Mom of Destiny, decided she didn't like her child giving me money. Apparently, she had realized that I had amassed a small fortune by exploiting 3rd graders. She called my mom and told her how bad of a child I am and how I should be ashamed of myself. Luckily, my dad heard it too, and while my mom was still on the phone, my dad asked me with the most daddish tone he could, "How much money did you make, son?" At that time, the business was booming. I was just getting myself ready to make another huge order of AliExpress cards with those 150 bucks in my lunchbox. That was like life-changing money back then. My dad gave me that proud look and then convinced my mother that our little punk is just learning how business works. The next day I get back to school like nothing happened. However, I could feel the sense of my time running out, so I had to do something big. I remember organizing a special drop at recess. I'd bring my backpack full of cards, which honestly felt like carrying a suitcase full of cocaine. I had kids lining up like it was a Black Friday at Target. There was a moment when two kids argued over a card. I had to step in like a referee in a Pokemon World Championship. Gentlemen, I said using my best fake adult voice, the law of the cartel is clear. First come, first serve. And no one is leaving until all trades are settled. I probably sounded insane. I was insane. But order was restored. It sounds glamorous, but running a Pokemon cartel in 8 years is terrifying. You have to track inventory, you have to remember who owes what. You have to handle complaints from kids to claim their packs were damaged. They bet the corner. But you have to avoid the teacher suspension too, which is like hard. Because when you're running around recess with a backpack full of 500 cards like in an active terrorist operation, that's hard, okay? And you have to keep the whole pyramid from collapsing too, which eventually it did. Mom of Destiny called my mom again. This time, she brought reinforcements. Apparently all the parents were in cahoots. I was called into the principal's office. The evidence was stacked against me. Piles of cards, kids' lunch money, scribbled notes with prices and deals. I couldn't even pretend I was innocent like that. That would be like lying to the lion that's about to eat you. The principal gave me a choice. Either a 1 week suspension or return all the money. But by giving me the choice, he broke the #1 rule of black market. Never negotiate with terrorists. Unfortunately, this choice was a no-brainer for me. I couldn't afford a 1 week suspension. Come on, I was in 3rd grade. I couldn't exactly risk a week of school. So returning all the money was the only choice I had. I had to return all the money, all the cards, all the glory. And just like that, my empire was gone. I learned a valuable lesson. Never start a Pokemon cartel in 3rd grade. And also, if you happen to be in 3rd grade and starting a Pokemon cartel, please don't trade with kids whose mother's name is Karen.